Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Anyway, we are in a downtrend, though. This is the only problem with this one. We're right at the red zone. We're in a downtrend.
I'll go to the 15-minute though.
Oh, 15-minute. Okay, so there's probably some room to the.
Well, it's just there's your arrow.
That's what you.
Yeah.
There's my arrow. That's what you're talking about. That now we're talking. Okay, there's the arrow, and here's our zone down below. Put this back up this way. And we'll put our target up here, and this is probably doable. This one's
just keep in mind again that normally we trade on the 5-minute with gold, right? And the 5-minute looks good too. It just doesn't have the arrow on the 5-minute arrow came a while back, but honestly, it still looks good on both the 5 and the 15.
One of the deciding factors on this one would be let's take a look at the heat map and see where the US dollar is. If the dollar is at the bottom, that means the dollar is weak there, kind of weak. Dollar is weak. That means that this stock market should go, actually it's probably more up to go to the upside if the dollar is weak.
Yeah. And the only other little red flag when I'm looking at this is that the 200 moving average is a lot lower, fairly low to the arrow moving average. So I just thought it's a nice looking trade, but I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, if the dollar were strong, I'd be apt to take that trade. But with the dollar being relatively weak, I'm a little bit hesitant. In which it kind of makes you think that that's kind of upside down, but it's not. Really, when the dollar gets weaker, our exports get a little bit stronger, which actually gives more export for the manufacturing. That's the way I think about it. I don't know if that's really the way to think about it, but that's kind of how I think about it.
If you go back to the 5-minute chart for gold right now, it's kind of ranging in a similar place that it did right before the money zone last night as well. So could go either way, maybe.
Yeah, and while we're here, we might as well look and see which is our strongest currency. Right now, the Swiss is the strongest currency. The CAD's second. Swiss CAD and British pound. The Aussie's a little strong there, but I say basically the Swiss and the CAD, we would be looking to trade to the strength of the Swiss franc and the Canadian dollar, and we'll trade to the weakness of the yen and the New Zealand dollar. So we'll just keep that in the back of our mind as these alerts come through. And so let's go back to the chart, and it should be back to my arrow charts. I'll keep an eye on this one. I've just been kind of curious to see how this one works out on the 15-minute. It is on the
look at the 5-minute real quick. If you look at the 5-minute, it's sort of bouncing off the 200 moving average there.
Yep, it sure is.
If you move your alert there, you'll see that to the left there, there was some similar range. Yeah, if you get rid of that to the left, see how it was ranging at a similar price point last night.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Here's the money zone, and here's the let's see. It looks like this is the high of the money zone right here. High before the money zone. Here's the low before the money zone. This is one of the strategies. I think this is strategy number 2. Speaking of that, there's a whole PDF out that's available. It tells you all the strategies. I'm not sure where I got that. It popped up someplace.
Yeah. Nate put it out. It's on the Telegram.
So if you're in the Telegram channel, now check your Telegram with the Auvoria Prime, the arrow announcements, I believe it is, and you should be able to see the. It's a PDF file with all the strategies, so you don't have to go to the back office to get them. And it makes it a little bit more convenient. And let's see here. Here is the Let's scrunch this up a little bit more. Here's our money zone. Here's the high. Here's the, well, the low's all the way down here. A nice little pullback overnight. Then here is the pretty much the low, and here's the highest high up here for the breakout. It broke out right. Let's see. Actually, that's quite a range for the gold overnight. Let's see if it's more than 50. If it's more than 50 pips, we wouldn't be taking it anyway. I'm not sure what it is. That'd be probably, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 120.
120. Yeah, that's probably too big to be taking it as a money zone entry type breakout. I think that's a little too much. I'm not sure what the range is on gold on this one.
I can look and tell you right now that gold's normal range is 282.
For the overnight session?
Well, I'm just looking at the average, the
average true
actually,
range?
Yeah, the ADR. The ADR is, well, it says 2,994, which I assume is 299.4.
I know for the currency, it says 50 pips. If the range overnight is more than 50 pips, I'm going to make the assumption that we're looking at least, no, I can't make an assumption. I don't know what the dollar value is on the gold on this. I need to check with Nate on if he has the number on that one.
Yep.
But here's the range. Anyway, you're in a downtrend. Although I'm not so sure it's not starting to turn a little bit. Yeah,
And it is in an uptrend on M5. That's another bad sign. It's in a downtrend on M15, but on the M5, it's in an uptrend. So
that means it's starting to change.
Turn back the other way. Yeah.
Al?
As I was, yes.
Pepper's telling us that in 4 minutes, the U.S. jobless claim is going to, or the ECB interest rate decision is in 4 minutes, that we might want to wait to trade until they're up.
Okay. We didn't get to our news yet, did we, today? Let's get to our news and see what our news may have here.
Yeah, Pepper says that there's a few big red envelopes.
Yep. In 1 minute, this is on the euro. Yeah, high risk in one. Yeah, so stay out of everything for at least another minute and see what kind of, if it's a real big move, then we'll just give it another 15, 20 minutes before we do anything. Looks like there's another red folder here in 46 minutes at 8:30 with the euro and the US both. A lot of news today. This is Thursday. Lots of news. So make sure the news is good. I mean, it gives you the volatility, but also gets you a lot of volatility. So it's pick your poison. You can't get the good without the bad, but it can give you. If you do take trades, just give yourself lots of room on the stops initially. If you're holding over the news, give yourself lots of room for your stops, and because usually it'll swing violently both ways. So it keeps you in the trade, but you may have to take some heat on it. And yeah, so basically we're looking at 10. Well, there's just a lot of red folders today.
Yeah.
8:30. There's a couple 8:30 euro in the US. 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So this could be a wild ride today, possibly. So we're looking at euro in the US primarily, and those are going to be the main news. This one's just coming out right now in 20 seconds. Let's see what it does. Then we'll take a look at some euro pairs and see what happens. That one's done. Not sure what they mean. I don't usually pay a lot of attention to what the reports actually say because it's fundamentals, and I figure whatever happens, the charts are going to reflect it anyway. So, and they probably have already reflected it. And let's see here. Let's take a look at a couple euro US. Look at a euro US pair. See what that did. Nothing too exciting there. While we're here, we may as well go and mark our charts with the, looks like it's in an uptrend. I like when we have like a zone and the 200 moving average all at the same spot, but we are in an uptrend. See if there's any, make sure we're on a 15-minute chart. Check your charts to make sure we're on a 15-minute for your alerts. That's one of the first things I'm getting in the habit of doing is checking that first thing in the morning when I check my charts. It's in an uptrend, lots of room to the upside. This is a 15-minute chart. If we do get an arrow, we have lots of room to the upside on this. Come on. And we're going to move this one back. This is just going to get in preparation. And a lot of times too, when you set your stops, now the target is 40 pip stop on these euro pairs mostly, but you can also just look and see where a zone is. Just keep it out. Make sure you have some barriers like a moving average or a zone, and just sort of get it down. And a lot of times if you'll see like two zones together, I'll put it on the second one because oftentimes the first zone may get penetrated. And then just see if you're somewhere in the ballpark, because sometimes you can, if you can tighten up your stop, you can take a bigger position. And I've been doing more and more of that lately as I've been checking this thing out. If I get a nice big, nice alert with a nice looking trend, I'll just go and tighten up my stop and take a larger position. And so you can make just as much money with a 20 pip stop and a 10 pip target as you can with a 40 pip stop and a 20 pip target, and 10 pips is usually easier to get than the 20 pips sometimes. You won't have to wait as long often. When we were doing the Irish trade sessions, we were pretty much using 10 pip stop and 7 pip targets. And you'll find out if you watch the movement of some of these, especially these currency pairs, you'll see they move in 7 pip increments, 7, 14, 21. And that's why a lot of times 20 pips as a target is a pretty good, it's not just by random, it's within that 3-tiered range. And so I like to just go for, a third or 2/3 of that. Go for 7 or 14 pips and just load up the lot size. Your risk stays the same. Just remember that your stop is your risk. The stop is your profit regulator. Is what I'm trying to say.
It certainly is. Good morning, Mr. Mittman. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Matt. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, great morning. Beautiful weather outside. Just looking for a great. Do you have any nice trade setup opportunities yet, or what?
Well, we had a couple that were questionable, but we didn't take anything yet. Things are still kind of range bound, still going in the wrong direction for the most part. But we are just still hunting away. We went through the news, lots of news today on the euro and US.
Right.
Pepper tells us there's a W forming on the US yen on the 15-minute. So we might want to have a look
US
at that.
yen. US yen 15.
Hey, Al, on a side note,
Yes.
gold just shot up on this current candle, on the 5-minute candle. Oh my God.
Did it really?
Oh my God. Just shot up.
That was when we were looking at going long with too, wasn't it? Well, it had a big zone.
No,
in
it was
front
a
of
short. No, it was going to be a short. Yeah.
On the 15-minute. Yeah. Good thing
Yeah.
we stayed away from that one.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's just zooming right back up.
Our W forming. Now we're looking at W forming. Ooh, what's that? Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
Don't think we're getting hacked again.
No. No. I just opened up Facebook and it autoplayed something.
That was Matt that did that.
Yeah,
Guy comes in here and wrecks the joint.
I know. And just like a wrecking ball, like destroy absolutely everything I see. Good morning,
Yeah,
everyone.
I can say a slight W here. I'm not sure if I would call this. I guess it is a kind of a W. Strong move down. Here's the little pullback. Here's the retest. That little. I like seeing these W's with a little bit of a slope on it between the two bottom legs of the W. Now this thing does look like this. Now we are getting into where we could be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if this is more conclusive here. This looks like a 50. I call this one a 50-50. So this thing's kind of range bound. We got in a bounce. We could get if we get an arrow off of this, I maybe want to take this one here. Take it and move this. We get a nice little W. There's our, and if we can get an arrow off of this, I think I'd be willing to take this trade if there's enough room to the upside. I do like still, even though I may want to only go for 10 pips, I still like seeing 20 pips for a target. And this one only has 19. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. That'd be close enough to take it. I'd be willing to, if I'm only going to go for 10, I'd be willing to take that one with 19 pips to the other side. But we don't have an arrow yet, but we are getting a break on the moving averages. We do have a curve on the arrow moving average, so that's starting to curl up. The 200 is kind of flat. If we have a trend, oh boy, let's see. Yeah, I'd be looking at this for the target up here would be the target. I would keep it below these wicks. See if it would come up and retest this zone. We do have a little bit of an upward. This one has more of a continuation to the downside actually. But here's a straw move down, pull back. We could get another big drop to the downside on this. Let's see what this is the US yen. And I believe we were saying that what were we saying about the yen earlier? We were saying that the yen was.
I think it was it weak?
I think the yen was weak. Yeah, the yen is weak. And the US is just about as weak. It's getting a little bit stronger. Dollar's getting a little stronger. Dollar's getting stronger. So there is getting some strength to the dollar. And so let's take a look at, go back to strength to the dollar. So so it would be going up. That would be an uptrend, but there is, this could actually be one of these moves that we could use for a Fibonacci. Here's the top, here's the bottom. And here's the pullback to the 50%. If we can get a nice little formation, a candle formation, like a fractal would be something that could work with this one.
This is almost a bank induction move, Al. Those two arrows there back a little ago. Yeah.
Bank induction. So this would be to run to the upside then.
Yeah. I can see a W. Like if you
this one right here is the top middle of the W.
Yeah, we're on the last leg of the W right now, potentially.
Yeah. And we had it up. So, well, I would be careful with the. I'd like to see a little bit more strength to the dollar. If we get some more strength to the dollar, I might agree with you on this one.
The only other unfortunate issue right now is even where prices right now are only 20 pips to the zone, so it's getting a little tight.
That's true. That would be true. We're hearing a lot about these bank induction moves here lately. Actually, it's probably a good one to really get to know. I do think there's a lot to be said about that. Trying to stay with what the big boys are doing. I'm going to see there. I bet we're going to get a fractal and then possibly a retest down here. This one may not. This is a W, but this may be a 3-wave retracement back to retest this trend line here. I would say see if it comes back to retest the trend line and get a bounce. We
Yeah,
still
we
have
got-
these moving averages. This moving average is still kind of in the way. It hasn't closed above the purple moving average.
We got a doji
This-
right now trying to decide what it's going to do.
Yep, right. There's a lot of indecision on this one right now. Let's see if we might get a fractal. We'll probably get a fractal on this one. Let's see here. Where's the overnight high? Here's the overnight high. Let's move let me get my zone line here so you can see it a little bit better.
We were talking, Nate was on with Matt and I on the New York session call yesterday, and we were chatting about how impactful it is for that 200 moving average to be in the right place. Like for this trade right now, to take a long position, we're still the arrow MA is below the 200 right now.
Yeah. Huh?
So
See, I see this more of a Fibonacci to the downside move, actually, more so than a bank induction.
yeah,
But you've got you're going to have to go through an awful lot of barriers down here to get into that. That's going to be tough sailing, I think.
That's interesting. I really like, after I started seeing those bank induction moves, it really opened up my eyes. Like it really opened up my eyes. Like even over to the left, where you have your other arrow down into your green zone, that's a nice bank induction as well. You're into it as long as you're in your counter trend, right? Because the bank induction has to be a counter trend move.
yes.
So
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Matt. Both those downward arrows there. The one from yesterday, yesterday's money zone. Yeah.
I like this one. I like this one a lot better than I do this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I like it. I like it to be deeper.
Let me put it on the 1 hour. Let me put it on the 1 hour chart, and you can maybe see it a little bit better. But basically, there again though, this could almost be forming almost like an M at the top of this move. So I'm kind of looking at this as being a nice move up, facing, and it's been range bound. It's been pretty much range bound right now in here. Now the question, and you have this moving average, and you can see where this. If we did the Fibonacci, you can see where if we get the break of this, now we're coming down into retesting the 1 hour 200.
Yeah, that bank moving average is really powerful. He likes to call it the bank moving average of 200. What I like about this whole run up is you got a nice wedge forming, guys. That's a really big wedge. So you may have, like, from the top of your run all the way down, it's you got a pretty nice wedge formation, and you got a bottom that you can put together, and there might be a nice break of that. Whenever it finally breaks, there's going to be some impulsivity. There's a higher probability chance that it breaks to the upside because that's where that original move came from at a higher time frame. But it doesn't matter where it breaks, right? It's just whatever happens, we'll try and take it in that direction.
I really see this going more to the downside than the upside, so I'm not going to take it long. That's I'm pretty clear on that one. You can move this moving average and see if I can.
You are, Al, on the 15 minute. You are getting higher lows here for the last 20 hours.
Higher lows. So that means, yeah. So there it's. Here's a low. Here's a little higher low. Here's higher low. Higher low. And say if it can break this trend line right here, but you've got all this heat down here. Now let's take a look and see where it is to the left. See if we could figure out where this thing may go. What did we just get? We got an alert coming in. Let's see what it is. NASDAQ and EuroCAD and Euro Aussie. EuroCAD, Euro Aussie, and NASDAQ. Let's take the EuroCAD and Euro Aussie. Let's take a look at that.
Euro Aussie is a no-go. No-go with Euro Aussie.
How about EuroCAD? You see, boy, look how fast that version 4 is.
Yep, no go with either of them.
Okay. And how about the NASDAQ?
No, it's right at a zone.
Okay, well, let's,
Once it breaks through the red zone, it's on an upward trend, and then it should be good to go for a bit.
which was that, the NASDAQ?
NASDAQ, yeah.
And we do have a strong, the dollar was getting stronger, so that would give rise to this one going up higher. So we are in an uptrend. Yeah, let's just say this, if we can break through this zone right here, we may have enough room to the upside for a target on a 5 minute. There's an Aussie New Zealand here too on the 15. If we can break to the upside, let's see what our heat map's doing here.
That Aussie New Zealand was from earlier, Al. You're too low on your alert thing.
Okay, all right, I'll change that. I'll look at that. Let me just see what our heat map's doing. Dollar's still weak there, still weak there, weak there, weak there. Aussie's strength on the Aussie right now. And so let's take, there was an Aussie New Zealand, and New Zealand is it's kind of up there too.
That was an earlier alert. That was
Was that
much
earlier? I thought I
Yeah.
just. I
Yeah,
just
but
scrolled down.
if you look at your alert box, you've kind of moved down to the middle of it.
Oh, that's why.
Scroll
That's
lower.
why. That's better. There you go. Thank you. I got my trusty people behind me to keep me straight.
We're keeping you in line. No worries.
It's a tough job sometimes, but
It is too many things to think about and look at.
you do a good job keeping me straight. So right now, let's take a look at this NASDAQ on a trading view chart. That might give us, we're at 13,022 is what we're going to be looking at. Let's see if I can find my. Let's try this one. Is this the one I want? Nope, not that one. And we're going to go to the NASDAQ. Move my charts up. And we're going to go to, whoop, let's see, we don't need this right now.
Hey guys, I'm still going to be around on audio, but work called me in, so I need to go into the office and bring some hardware in. So I'll be around, but just won't be able to share any charts or anything.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Matt.
Do what you need to do there, Matt.
All right, well, I'll continue to listen to this entertaining conversation.
We got you covered. Okay, so let's see. We're just looking for the NASDAQ, the US 100 is what it is.
You're looking for NASDAQ. I think that's down below on your
Down lower, so lower.
Yeah.
Probably should have rebooted my computer before I got started today. It seems to be
There it is.
bogged down.
No, down. There it
here.
is. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
13,022 was the number we were looking at. I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart. And we're going to just look at the price. My computer is acting a little slow today. I should have rebooted it. I don't think this is not a VPS issue. This is my computer issue.
Actually, I just lost my computer as well. How weird is that?
It's like the internet just slowed down on me. And that happens too, is that I'll do a speed check on my computer every now and then, find out, now I'm paying for 100 megabytes of feed, and sometimes it just slows down. Of course, this one I'm not paying for anything, but I know it's decent feed. So right now, right now we're looking at, on a 3-hour chart, 1322 was where the target, where we were looking at. this is the target right up here. If this thing goes up, we're looking at probably right around the 13,161-ish type thing. Nice strong move down, came back, retested. We broke through that. Here's our W right here. This is, you'll find out that the W's and M's on a higher time frame are going to be more valid than on the really low time frames. Most of the big guys don't work on 5 and 10-minute charts. They work on hourly charts. So this looks like this could be a fairly strong move to the upside. Let me see. I would be looking at maybe I might take that one long. Let's see what else we have going on here. Let's take a look at a little bit closer. Let me take this one off. Yeah, this thing could. I kind of like this one to the long side. So I would say right now, if it can break 13,022, which is where our top of our red zone was.
That too, yes, the US Tech 100 and NASDAQ 100, that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Question.
The pips may be a little bit different, but they should be pretty close enough to be able to plan the trade with it. If I scoot over here to see where, so I'm looking over to the left. Let me take this off here a little bit so you can see that a little bit. We have a strong wick over this one right here. Here's a strong move down. Here's the wick over wick. Pulled back down, came up, retested the bottom. So this is a zone that you're going to be looking at. And so I'll be real interested in this area right in here.
Are you talking as a target, Al?
Well, as an area that's going to be a problem to get through it for
Oh,
so I don't even think it's not so much even a target, but it's going to have to penetrate this area. And then the next stop would be up in this area, where's my chart? Where's my tools here? Once it can get through this, here's a strong move down. Here's a wick. Pull it back up. There's a wick. Broke the bottom of that wick and came back and retested here. So right now, this is the last retest, right where my cursor is, over here until we get to, and then up here would be that would be the next target. That would be the target zone. That would be the target. So we've got to come over here and see if it's going to break through. So right now it's in the zone. It's closed inside. Now that's on a 1 hour. Let's go back to our 15-minute. See if we can see a wedge that's forming inside this area.
Hey, Al.
Here's yes.
So the one thing, in doing some US index trading with like Jackie as an example, they're pretty hesitant to take a position in these indexes until after the stock market opens. At this time,
that makes sense.
You can get major moves at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Because a lot of times this is still the pre-market time right now, and the big guys they're getting their position set. So if they're buying all the way up, when the market opens, it could drive it up, and then they're going to crash it on down. I think this is going to be an area where they're going to be doing some consolidating between now and probably 9:30 this morning, which is in another hour and 20 minutes. So, but these are the pre-market moves that you're looking at right here. But be aware that this zone exists, and this is going to be between 1358 and 978. Let me just see about some bid blinds here. Yeah, we have a 15-minute fib line right here, and we're pretty much right at a, I would, that 1322 area is going to be a major area. It's going to have to get through that before I would be even come, and then it could be a trap right up in here. So I'm staying away from it. And so we wait. Any other questions? Questions we have in the chat box that we need to discuss?
There's one question.
Al, do you
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, CP.
No, go ahead, Eva. I was. Go ahead. Yeah, you answer.
No, you do. No,
CP,
you do it.
You go.
Okay, you go.
No, I'm done. Go ahead. Mine was trivial. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna. Somebody had posted in the Q&A about the pound Swiss on the 15-minute. If we wanted to have a quick look at that.
On the 15-minute.
Yeah, there's a W apparently.
Yep.
Yep, there is. And this is a move. This could be nice. This could be a nice move. We have lots of room to the upside. I believe we're in an uptrend. My arrow is still accurate. Yep, definitely in an uptrend.
We might get an arrow.
Yeah, we do have this moving average right here. It did penetrate. This is our contra trend. We don't really need to worry about contra trend on this one. I'm just going to move this one out of the way here.
Again, well, no.
Things are starting to move kind of slowly here. So I think it may be my internet, not so much the BPS. I was having trouble
The
with my
BPS is
trading.
working pretty good for me right now. Arrow 4 is pretty amazing.
So basically what that's going to do is it's going to have like a manager where you can have a screen that's going to monitor all the pairs, and then it's going to show the alerts, and then when you click on it, it pulls up the pair without having to load all the pairs at once. Is that correct?
You want me to share real quick?
Boy, I would be okay with it, but I'm not so sure Nate would be okay. Do you think Nate would be? Did Nate show it yesterday?
I mean, we've seen it on calls in the past. He has not instructed not to show it per se. I mean, I don't know. It's obviously coming out soon for everybody, but it's okay. We don't have to.
Well, Vincenzo's saying it was right on his call and he showed it to everybody already.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if Nate showed it, then I don't have a problem with you showing it then. Why don't you do that? Give everybody a preview of what's going on, since we're still kind of waiting on this one anyway.
You probably have to give me.
Stop sharing and you can go ahead and share.
Yep.
I'll stop sharing and you should be able to do it. Now can I see it? That's the other question. There we go. I see it.
Okay.
This is a little sneak preview of what's to come here.
Yeah. So I have all 28 pairs, all the majors and the crosses. I have the 3 main cryptos, gold, and the 3 major US indexes all popping around here. We'll see right now, you see the 5-minute and 15-minute are about to run out. So there you see it just changed. So we have no 15-minute alerts. One thing I was going to say, by the way, when we were talking, is because of this setup, I've been looking at the 5-minute charts a lot for the Forex pairs. And I know it's not as accurate, but it's interesting how many more good-looking bag entries pop up with the M5. So if I go, so you can see the NASCAD just came up for the 5-minute. So it's a green box, so I know it's an upward arrow. All I have to do is click on it. and it's going to bring me right to the 5-minute
wow.
chart,
I like that.
right? And I can zoom in a little bit, and we see this is not a valid bag entry, but there it is. And the only thing you got to keep in mind is if you mark up your charts, so I'm going to eventually make my template a little more the way I like it. This is sort of just the standard arrow template that Nate gave us. But the one thing that everyone has to understand is if you have a chart open and and Al, you put your lines in and everything, you got to keep that chart open, or you'll lose all that. So if obviously if you close it, you go back to your dashboard here and you want to go back to that chart again, you'll be starting from scratch. You can have a template set up.
How do you save? You just save the template, or can you save the chart? Keep the chart open?
Yeah. So if I go here, this is just this, and keep in mind now, this is the dashboard. This 4.0 is an EA. It's no longer an indicator. But you can see here, it says template for new chart right here, and we have arrow version 3.1 right here. So
yep.
what you can do, just like anything else, is you can make your template what you want. You can add fractals and the 200 moving average and anything else you want. Your counter trend lines, that you always update. You can do any of that stuff, and that will be your template. And then up over here, you and by the way, guys, for the full release, I think some of these options will disappear from what Nate is saying. But you see that you can have as many time frames as you want, right? You can have the 1 minute and the 4 hour, and I just have the 3 because that's all I'm really trading on. And then for pairs trading right here, if I click on this, you have a pull down. You could just do all 28 pairs. You could do, there's some options here right now. I don't know if these will be here. There's I'm not even sure what the core 14 and core 7 are. I assume those are like the GBP or something like that. But if you go to your own pair list, like I have it, then then down here on own pairs, see, I basically added every single pair that you see over here. So I added every Forex major and cross, as well as the cryptos, the gold, and the 3 indexes. And that's pretty much it. Everything else, just leave alone. I think some of this stuff down here won't be there. Another cool thing over here you can see, which I think is really cool, is this little 5 up here will be gone, but the average daily range, right? So like for GBPI, you see that the average daily range is 131, and so far today we've moved 102 pips, and it's yellow, kind of telling you that we're getting close to the maximum ADR for that pair. If it's green, obviously you still got a lot of movement on average. And then the red, you can see, like for Euro JPY, we've actually gone above the average daily range already. So that's why it's red.
Wow.
And then you see the spreads, the daily open, the weekly open over here. One little thing that he's got to clean up that we've already talked about is when I added these huge ADR assets like Bitcoin, you see how it kind of goes into the other columns right now. So just, very minor things that he's got to fix.
Those are big numbers.
At times, and the other cool thing is you can see the countdown clocks right here. You see we're 30 seconds from the M5 updating, which is kind of cool.
So when it's when it's due to be alerted. This was 20 10 seconds or 19 seconds before the candle, before we could get an alert on that one.
Exactly. So if we got 10 minutes obviously to the M15, but we'll just watch here. When this runs out, this green box will disappear and maybe some new ones will come up. Let's see.
How do you pull up the chart that doesn't have an alert on it?
You can put anything you want. So I can click on any box I want and it brings me right to it.
Okay, whether there's a red or green box filled in, you can just click on the box and it brings you up to the chart.
Any blacked out box here I can click on to bring up the chart. But obviously, so we just got a down alert on USD JPY for the 5 minute. right? So I just click on that and it brings me right over and take a
It's
look.
right up to a 5-minute chart. Okay,
Yep, not a valid trade
cool.
here, but
Nice.
I can look at it.
Well,
So
that's going to be a lot faster. That's going to
yeah,
be sweet. Yeah.
the speed
Perfect.
and just, I mean, obviously we, you know, like what you're doing, what we've normally been doing is you have all your charts open to the M15s because that's what we
Right.
obviously trade on. But the ability to quickly look at various time frames, you know, like, you know, maybe I should have the H4 here too for swing trades. But just the ability to quickly look at all the different time frames for all of the different assets is pretty remarkable.
That'll be really sweet. Yeah, great. This is good. This is good stuff. And hopefully it'll be out sooner than later. So all I can say is be patient, guys.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance it'll be this weekend. I mean, that's the goal right now. There are a couple little things. We're still trying to figure out the darn VPNs. I can tell you last night, so you see these countdown clocks and how they're moving pretty steadily right now. Last night it was sort of freezing, like it would go from 318 and stop for a second and then jump down to 310 and then stop. And so, which just tells us that the VPN is still a little sticky sometimes even with this. But the good news is right now, if you watch it, you see how it just jumped from 4 to 2. So it occasionally doesn't go second to second, but this is flowing pretty nice. I mean, that's very low impact on our ability to trade right now. So
Yeah.
so it's looking really good.
Well, it's good. Thank you for that. That's we've got a lot of things in the chat here.
I'll hand it back to you, Al.
Okay. Well, let's see here. What do we got? Let me see if I can. Okay, now I got to find out where I'm at here. Let's see. Let's try this one and should be seeing my arrow charts now.
Yeah, we can see them.
Okay, good. All right, we're back in business here. Thanks, CB. That gives everybody a little bit of a sneak preview of what's to come, and that we are getting close with it. And so hopefully that will solve our VPS problems.
And by the way, in case people are wondering how the heck I'm one of the ones testing it, was being in the crypto group, for the record.
Is that where that's the crypto group is?
Yeah, he had some, you know, so it's a very small group still, but he got some people to volunteer that wanted, of course, everybody wanted to test the version 4 from the crypto group.
Are you spending any time you obviously must be spending some time in the wee hours of the morning with the London session with Nate?
I don't too often. I'm a East Coaster. It's tough. I mean, I
would like to be able. I would love to be able to do it, except it's hard to do that and be here 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no, I think I average maybe one call with Nate a week or at the most. What I tell people is if I have a bad day trading, my punishment is to stay up all night with Nate, make my money back.
I do think there's a lot of better trades during that London session than even through the New York session. I think some of the bigger moves that I've seen have happened in that session. Absolutely. And that's why he trades that session. And I think when Arrow first came out, that's pretty much the session that's why this money zone is where it is because that was the prime time to be trading. And the earlier part of it, he can probably by 5 o'clock in the morning, he's probably got he's done for the day for his trades.
Yep.
But you have to be able to be willing to be a night owl for that. And
CB,
there was a message.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just there's a Q&A. So I just wanted to ask CB back with the crypto. When will a crypto strategy come out?
I'd like to know the answer to that too. So what I can tell you is that Nate wants to see more members in the crypto group before he really gets going with calls and there's that one supposed super secret strategy for crypto that he's going to expose. He hasn't done it yet. And so I've told a couple other people that are trying to get into the crypto group, you haven't missed anything yet, guys. But it would be great to get more people in there, because I think that then he'll start to pay more attention to us over there.
So how do you
Here's the
get in
question.
there?
There you go. That was took the words right out of my mouth. How do you get into
How do you
that?
get, how do you get in
So
it?
you need to have an account that can be verified, in MyFX book, and you
Uh-huh.
need to net. That's the important thing, not gross. Net 10,000 pips with crypto only trades. So your wins minus your losses have to show at one point in time for Nate to see that you have in profit 10,000 or more pips
Okay.
in a verified MyFX book broker account portfolio.
Okay, so there
You
you
know,
have it.
10,000 pips is sort of like $10,000 worth of crypto. Like Bitcoin movement would be $10,000, which basically moves
Yeah, it's
$1,000
people
times
people
a
have
day.
hit that. People have hit that with one trade with Bitcoin.
And you can use FX Blue as well. It doesn't have to be MyFX, right?
You'd have to ask Nate. I think so. I mean, it would. Yes. Yeah. I think so, Ava. Yeah.
As long as you can verify it, I'm sure it's probably would work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the key. So can you verify it or not?
Yeah.
All right. And I'd encourage everybody to start. I know there's a thing with Gearbox about FX book. I'm not exactly. I haven't tried to see how that works. I think it wasn't quite working yet. But there's. In fact, we may have to do some. Get with your groups, the people that get you signed up into Auvoria Prime. Get with those groups, and I think we're going to start. Brian and I are going to work on having a session on how to set up your FX book so that you can link your account to it, and just that way you can see your results, and it gives you a good way of seeing how disciplined you are and seeing what your results actually are. It's all calculated for you, and you can verify, and then you
Yeah.
can share it and things like that. Go ahead.
Al, I haven't had a chance yet to dig back into my FX book, but I can tell you that how for a couple of the main broker accounts that a lot of us use over this last weekend, they had that server upgrade with their live accounts. I'm sure most people are familiar with that. Ever since that happened, and am I okay just to name broker accounts without recommending them, just the ones that I'm speaking of? Is that okay to say?
You can throw out several. I'd say you could say several brokers that
Well,
are being
yeah,
used.
I'm not recommending these, but with KOT, Envy, and Osprey, which all use the same clearinghouse, since they upgraded the server for the live accounts, I know myself as well as a few others have been unable to get my FX book to connect to those accounts, those live accounts. There's something weird. I don't know if they have to propagate the new server or something like that for my FX book, but people have been struggling to get those live accounts with those three brokers to connect to my FX book again. I'm not sure what the issue is, but
when you look at your brokers, they'll usually, when they give you the login information for the brokers, there's a thing called there's your login password, and then there's an investor password. The investor password is what you're really changing in order to get that verified results.
exactly.
And I think that sounds like that's probably where the problem may be.
Well, I know what I'm doing with that pretty good. And I've been trying, I've reset the investor password. I've done everything. I gone into MT4 and updated it. It is not connecting to my FX book.
Okay. Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
But, and we were saying, I know there's a lot of questions about what broker do we use and all that. And we're not allowed to, and we don't recommend any brokers. But what you can do is go back to your groups or the people that signed you up for Auvoria Prime. And in those private groups, you can have those discussions. Our group is Trade Masters, and we do have those discussions in our groups. And we're going to be doing some regular sessions, and they'll be pretty much open to anybody that wants to join into the private groups. But I would say check with the people that signed you up, and I know most of those groups have weekly type of discussions and of some of these questions that you guys may have on this topic.
Wow. No, there was 3 15-minute alerts. None of them are too valid, but take a look at Euro CAD, only because of the craziness of the chart.
It must have been the announcement. There was a
Yeah.
Euro announcement
Yeah,
on
this
EuroCAD.
Euro CAD has to be news oriented.
Well, let's see.
You got it.
Too
Yeah,
crazy.
bring it. You got to bring it. You're too scrunched. There you go. Look, even, yeah.
That's a little better. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. That's only. It's the 15-minute chart.
Those are some major wicks.
Yeah, big wicks there.
And so it's funny, I have another arrow than you have. I have, let's see here. I have 2 extra candles than you.
2 extra on this chart.
I'm saying not candles, arrows. So the last 2 candles, I had an up candle on that big wick down, that big wick on the bottom. Yep, right there. After an up arrow there, and now a down arrow on the previous candle.
That certainly was, and I bet that was a news related move there.
Yeah.
Again, that's why you don't try to trade through the news. If you're on like a long-term type of thing, say such like gearbox or variable, where you're taking low position sizes. I mean, I trade higher position sizes on arrow because my stops are a lot tighter than you would have like on gearbox or variable. So I don't really worry too much about the news on those, because those are more of a swing trading and just longer term. I say longer term mean like you'll be in a trade for a week, maybe a couple of weeks at a time. But for this type of stuff, I'm usually in and out within about 20 minutes is pretty much my average of my trade duration.
Right.
So the wicks make more of a difference if you're trading in a lower time frame. And news makes a bigger difference. If you're swing trading, the news really shouldn't be too much of an issue because your stops are a lot further apart. But yeah, there's nothing there. How are you doing on time here? Let's see what time it is we have here.
It's 8:30.
So we have another 25 minutes or so. Another 20 minutes. Not a single trade yet today, which happens, you know. If you don't have something at the 7:39, there's oftentimes something between 9 and 12. The one thing about it, you got all day to be able to find these things. Yes, and if you're trading on your phone, it's you get the alerts on your phone. I'm not sure how easy it is to see these. I haven't had much luck pulling. I can pull the charts up on my phone, but it's almost indistinguishable to see really to be able to make any sense out of it, whether you want to take it or not. Let's see. Let's just go and scroll through some of these and see any other areas there on your 4.0 there, CB, that we want to look at.
Yeah, I was just kind of looking. No, there's just not much. I was going to just go look at gold again, just for kicks and giggles, see what it did. Yeah, it did come back down for us actually, but.
And so like some days you get 2 or 3 trades, some days you get none, but that's just the way it is. And it usually averages out to where you still usually get 1 or 2 trades a day. At least from when I'm sitting here. We were looking at the euro pairs earlier. Let's just see. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the heat map and we'll see what's hot and what's not. Swiss is, it's like the British pound is strong. Swiss and British pound, Aussie, Swiss, Aussie, British pound, Swiss, Aussie, British pound. And against you could do the Swiss, Aussie, British pound against the US yen or euro. Euro looks the weakest, so I'd be looking British against the euro. Let's see if there's anything there. British strength. Let's see where my chart go.
The British.
Yeah, Euro British. Oh,
It's dumping into
Strength.
a support zone right now.
strength to the British. Euro British, Euro British, British Euro, Euro British. Here we go. And trading to the weakness, and it is in a downtrend, so we're trading to the weakness of the Euro, strength to the British, to the pound. Went down arrows. And this is on a 15-minute chart. Let's take a look at a 5-minute chart, see if there's anything there. This is my internet, guys. I just got a little message here that my internet's slow today.
Well, that zone you have there for your 5 minutes is very different than mine.
Is it?
Yeah. Not that it matters. Neither are tradable, but
Yeah. But it is where's our moving average here on the 200? They usually don't go down quite this far on the scanner. Let's go back to 15 minutes. We have that zone right below here. Let's see, what's the price on that? The bottom of that zone, we'll take a look at it with my trading view chart here. Bottom of that's at 80, 85.46, we'll call it. Let's go to trading view. And this is the euro. I got the wrong chart here. I'm going to see. Euro British. I'm going to go excel that. Go to my other pairs here. On my trading view, I usually just use a Wanda feed because that way I can actually, there's a demo, I can put a demo platform on the Wanda, just trade off of this trading view. So anybody that wants to, who does have trading view and if you can't get your broker, this is probably about as good of a feed as there is for the demo. Euro British, here we go. And Euro pound, so I can go to my 15 minutes. We were looking at possible strength to the pound, so we want to be looking at shorts on this one. And I'd be looking at a little pullback on that. So be looking at selling pullbacks is what we'd be looking at. And let's go to, I like to looking at my overnight high and my overnight low. I like to put a box around it. That gives me a range about where this thing's been trading today. Yeah, I'm excited to hear that Arrow's going to be on, have a feed for trading view. That's going to be sweet. We'd have to get, I'd like to see a break below this area, which is 85.52. And if it can break that, we do have a little bit of a area right here that's be an issue. Take this back over for 2 days, last couple of days. I'm going to include this one in here too, since it's significant. It has, you can see that we had some bounces in the last couple of days. It came back down, bounced, took off. So this was a strong area where the buyers came in. So it would have to get through this area. This was the area where the buyers came in the last time. And you can see where they've had several hits. Here's a hit, here's a hit, here's a hit, here's a hit. Went a little bit deeper, took off, came back in. It could probably, my guess is going to bounce. If it can break through this box, you're going to look over to the left and see what you can find as far as another target. And you're going to be looking all the way over here. This is the area right down here is where the buyers took over control in a higher time frame, on a 4-hour time frame. So you got buyers coming in right around in this area. And this is going to be our demand zone. It's already been penetrated. All these wicks have been penetrated. And let's see, template. And demand, here we go. And that's what we're looking at on that. So I would not be taking it, I'd be looking more of a bounce to go back up to this area. This has been tested several times, but if you could get an announcement or some news announcement, you could get a strong wick down, come back down in here and then grab it and take it on up. But I think it's got more room to the upside in this case. Right now it's being tested right in here. And this could be, all right, now it's just kind of range bound. I'd be more of a buyer down here and a seller up here until it breaks this box. And can everybody still hear me?
Yes,
Oh, good. So I was beginning to worry again.
you're good.
Okay, all right. So that's my analysis on that Euro British. I'd be looking more for a bounce, even though I think it's. Did we decide it was contra trend or not? It's in a downtrend, but I would be. I think this is a pretty strong support area right in here. There's probably, let me see what the pip value was on that. I didn't look at that.
Actually, Al, I have to read you something that Mario just put in the chat. You'll like this. He said, I really enjoy Hawkeye Group. I leave Nate call early to get some sleep so I can make it to these calls.
Oh, bless your heart. That does my heart good to know that people still want to see us even after that. That's thank you for that. That does make me feel good. We don't always know for what kind of an impact we're making on people, but just all I can do is keep doing what we do and hope it helps people out. I don't know all the answers. I don't know anybody knows all the answers, but we just do the best we can to bring you some value to these sessions for your time. How's our time doing? We got a few more minutes. Any other questions? I'll tell you, this has been a really slow news day today, or slow trade day today.
See if we get anything here in 45 seconds.
All right. Speak to us there, Goose.
All right, Maverick, here we go. So Ava, you use, and I see Judson talked about FX Blue instead of my FX book.
Mm-hmm.
That works a little better for you?
Well, actually, I have my FX book. That's what I've always used prior to this, but I have signed up for FX Blue. I've never actually put one of my accounts on it yet. But I'm going to try it because I understand it's pretty easy. I know my FX book can be very convoluted trying to figure out how to verify your account.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look too, because my FX book it doesn't work great. It doesn't, even when you're using it, it doesn't what do you call, update very consistently. It's just the whole thing, you have to sort of manually play with it.
Yeah, you constantly have to refresh your page. It's I've heard that from a lot of people. And that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to try FX Blue because I've heard that it's pretty easy to use. So
Yeah.
I do have an account. I just haven't put like a trading account against it yet. But
Here
that's
we go.
coming.
This we have a up on the British New Zealand. We know that British is the stronger one of the pairs that we just looked at that earlier. 15-minute. That's in right. We got an hour right in the red zone though. Not a fan of this one. Too close to the zones. Well, it's not only close, it's in it. But it is an up arrow. We could get some strength. Boy, let's see. There's 20 pips on this. 28 to 48, we'll call it. Well, it's already almost halfway up to the target. If we're looking at 20 pips, by the time we got this alert, it's already punched through 7 pips of it, 7 pips of the 20. The alert came in at 93.28, and so 48 would be the 20 pips. Could possibly get, if it gets a little bit of a pullback, we do have the strength. They are in this red zone right now. And you do have this 200 moving average right up in here, which you could come up and test that, and you would still be able to maybe pull out a few pips on this one. You did get a break of this. Boy, this zone's right here, though. That's the only thing I don't like about that. That's a this zone's been tested several times. The upside tested, broke through, tested. Now, if this does break, if it can break through this zone right here, we could possibly take out some of these this one. That's a strong move down. This was a strong pullback is what this was. You may want to be waiting for this thing to maybe come back. This could be the bank conduction. If this would be the first move down, this could be the middle of the W, come back down. This could be a nice little bank conduction move to the upside. It does have strength to the upside. So I'd be looking at possibly a pullback. This one could get you in trouble if you try taking this as a breakout of this area. I think you could find some, I think it's going to have to work its way through that. Well, if it can break through this zone, it could go up a lot bit higher. And then you would have a lot better target. I like this for the target, but I would like to see that more after a pullback. And if you do that, if you can pull back, say, to this trend line, say it pulls back to this area, now you've got 46 pips here, and then if you can break that, now you've got a nice little run to 86 pips. I would not try and, I think it's going to take a little bit to get through this little zone right here. But if it pulls back to this one and gives us this could be a nice little bank conduction. I bet there's a fractal down here. In fact, I'm sure of that. Just a reminder that people, this was Jackie was mentioning about these fractals here the other day, and just go to your inserts indicators, come over here to the Bill Williams, and here's where you'll find fractals. If you put those on, you'll see, I make mine yellow so I can see it pretty much. And you'll see that'll give a little arrow where a pivot low is. So you had a pivot low, came out of the zone. A fractal out of the zone is a pretty strong indication. You may would have been more apt to take it with that fractal off of this zone right here. This would have been a better entry. Now, this isn't a strategy, but it's one that's being looked at as a strategy. That would have been your entry. And then you could maybe come up and still get your 20 pips up to this zone. Let's see if that would have given you 20 pips. That would have been 38 pips, so that would have been room. So you may want to start looking at some of these other strategies that are coming up that people are looking at, and find something. Maybe you can find your own strategy that you see a pattern that works for you. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And then bring it to us and let us know. We can take a look at it.
Al, do you have a moment to have a look at the pound US on the 1 hour?
Pound US on the 1 hour, okay. Pound US 1 hour. Looks pretty good on that one.
Looks like quite the, oh, there you go.
Let's see, we had a arrow here on the 1 arrow. That was good. That would, and I'm thinking you're probably still okay with this. Yep, you're still in an uptrend. I don't see any reason not to stay. If you're in the trade, I'd say stay in it. Right now, it looks like it's moving to the upside. Here's a target. Here's your next zone. You may have some lower time frame zones in the way, but I like this. If you look over here, so we can pull this out of the way. If you look over here, here's this nice strong green candle on this 1 hour. Not a thing stopping. There's no wicks at all in this whole little range right here. So this thing looks to me like this is going to be clear sailing to come on up to get some more sellers up in this area. Looking at it on let's look at it on a 5-minute chart. We know that the pound is strong to the US. Pull back and let's see. There's our target. Let's see if there's anything stopping here on the 5-minute. Yeah, there aren't any zones at all on the 5-minute, nothing major. You know, I'm not sure what you want to be looking at, but I'd say it's still an upward position, upward trend, and buy pullbacks right now.
Yeah, it was your thoughts on the buy.
Yeah. It is, we do have a little trend line coming. It's following the moving averages. It's retesting this arrow moving average. Let's see, I'm on a 5-minute now. Let's go to 30-minute. That's the next lower one from the 1 hour. Let's see what that looks like. And then we'll probably be wrapping this thing up here. It's hanging right along these moving averages. I said any pullback to the blue moving average, you have another zone right below it. I hesitate to just randomly jumping in on any trade. I usually like to find a bounce point or a of some sort. Right now, it's pretty much right in the middle of where this last breakout was from here to here. You're kind of right in the middle of it. You have a wick on this, so be careful with that. You've got a 30-minute wick. That's probably going to be a fractal. I'd be waiting for it to come back down, maybe give you another fractal low if you put these fractals on here. You probably see fractals all over the place. Here's a fractal, here's a fractal, here's one, here's one.
Your candles are kind of squished together.
Yeah, they are, and I don't usually like them, and I will unsquish them here if I can.
That's better.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'm trying to get it so I can. I said TradingViews is not the most accommodating platform, but it works.
MT4.
Yeah, the MT4. Yeah, not TradingView. Thank you. But I say anything that comes within. Oh, let's see. Now here's a low. These are all higher lows. I think you have a trend line. I'd be looking at this significant low where it bounced off the 200, bring it on up and see how many different wicks you can catch. I see right about in there. But I'll pull back until I get the top there. I would not try to take a break. Trades.
We're losing your audio.
It breaks out,
Yeah.
everybody jump. Oh, okay.
We're losing your
Yeah.
audio.
Let me switch real quick before we go.
I wasn't sure if that was me or Al, to be honest. I didn't know if it was my internet going in and out or if it was Al.
Yeah, that was Al. That was,
That was.
No, you still still.
still can't hear you, Al.
Hear me?
You're kind of pixelating and coming in and
Why
out.
not? Can't you? Huh. Okay. Well, I'm showing connected. Well, if you're hearing me at all, then I guess that's a good thing.
Now we can hear you. Now you're sounding
Still
better.
don't hear me very well. Okay. Well, that was close. Okay. Well, anyway, we're about 5 minutes. We're time to. I guess it's time to wrap this thing up. So anyway, sorry we didn't have any trades. We just didn't have any trades today, but hopefully you learned something. And thanks again for that demonstration on the version 4. That's going to be sweet when it comes out.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will be out this weekend. Again, thanks everybody for coming into our room. We appreciate every one of you, and stay green and stay patient, I guess is a way to be looking at this. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll be here tomorrow, and then we'll have a little bit of a break for the weekend. So take care and stay green. All right, bye.
See you all tomorrow, guys.